all of your budget smartwatches because their fitness tracking abilities suck. Honestly, the only thing that's good about most budget smartwatches is the fact that they look pretty on the wrist. Their actual health and fitness tracking are mostly unreliable. Well, if that's the case, which one would you recommend? I'm glad you asked. I would suggest you go with fitness trackers instead. And I have two great recommendations for you guys. This is the Samsung Galaxy Fit 3 and this is the Huawei Band 10, both of which are available for less than 4,000 rupees right now. And if you're someone who's interested in tracking your health properly, these are excellent options. I've been testing both of them side by side for over a week now, and in this video, I will tell you which one is better for you. And here's the interesting part. Even though they share a lot of similarities, I've realized they're actually made for completely different kind of users. But before getting into all that, let me start with their similarities, which is their designs. Here, the Huawei Band 10 has a slightly slimmer design with that classic fitness band aesthetics, while Samsung chose a more modern style with the Fit 3. But other than that, they're mostly similar. I like how both of them still carry a physical button for easy navigation. I have used a bunch of wearables in the past with just touch controls and they're just super frustrating to get around, so thank God. Likewise, I also didn't have any problems with their comfort. I was basically wearing these two 24/7 and I never felt the urge to take them off due to any sort of discomfort or skin irritation. The bands themselves are insanely lightweight, the straps just feel cozy, and thanks to 5 ATM water resistance, I never had to worry about water damage either. So yeah, both these bands get a solid A in terms of design and build quality. But when it comes to the display, the Galaxy Fit 3 is clearly better compared to the Huawei Band 10 because of two important reasons. Number one, it's got a larger display itself at 1.6 inches versus Huawei Band's 1.47 inches. That means all the text, the animations, and pretty much every other UI element looks so much nicer on the Fit 3. On the Huawei Band, things look quite cramped. And number two, the Fit 3 also has a smooth 60Hz refresh rate versus 30Hz on the Huawei Band 10. This was the one upgrade that I was desperately hoping Huawei would bring to its latest fitness band, but no. Don't get me wrong, they both have nice AMOLED displays that get sufficiently bright outdoors. There's also always-on display and auto brightness support on both, but a larger display plus a smoother 60Hz refresh rate means that I am picking the Galaxy Fit 3's display over Huawei Band 10's any day of the week. Now, before I get into all the juicy details about their health and fitness tracking, let me briefly talk about the software experience on the Galaxy Fit 3 and the Huawei Band 10. And what you need to know is that the basic layout of the UI is almost the exact same on both of them. There's a quick settings panel, an app drawer, a separate compartment for all the incoming notifications, and a widget-based UI on the home screen to quickly access different apps or shortcuts. However, what's interesting is that while the Huawei Band 10 runs on a custom Harmony OS 5 platform, Samsung went with the free RTOS for the Fit 3. Now, you might think even other budget smartwatches run on RTOS, so Fit 3's software experience must also suck. But surprisingly, compared to the Huawei Band, I actually found the Fit 3 software experience to be richer and more refined too. Let me give you an example. So the Huawei Band 10 only lets me add up to 5 widgets versus up to 12 on the Galaxy Fit 3. That means instead of opening up the app drawer and scrolling down to the app I want to open every single time, I can simply swipe to its widget more easily on the Galaxy Fit 3. It can even decode emojis on my notifications. I can also block notifications right from the band, and it might sound like a small thing, but man, I absolutely love how the Fit 3 loads the album art of the song that I am playing as well. Okay, let's talk about their fitness tracking, and like I mentioned in the very beginning, the Galaxy Fit 3 and the Huawei Band 10 are excellent fitness trackers. They can log over 100 sports modes and they support everything from all-day heart rate and stress monitoring to sleep tracking, and also women's health tracking. The Band 10 is capable of keeping score of my emotional well-being or my SpO2 level throughout the day, unlike how the Galaxy Fit 3 can only continuously read my blood oxygen levels when I go to bed. But the good news is that I found the heart rate and SpO2 readings from both of them to be quite accurate and also incredibly similar. Whether when I was just sitting still, taking a casual walk, or when I was working out, the Galaxy Fit 3 and the Huawei Band 10's data aren't really that far apart. Here, check out these screenshots. I was also super impressed with how similarly these two log my heart rate zones in different kinds of workouts as well. Wait, did you notice one strange thing in the screenshots? No? Take a look at their calorie numbers once. The Galaxy Fit 3 and the Huawei Band 10 recorded wildly different numbers of calories I burned. The Fit 3's data exceeds Huawei's numbers by 40 to 50% on average. So, which one should you trust? It's the Huawei Band 10. I say so because I've recorded the exact same workout routine on Huawei's more expensive Watch Fit 4 series and even on Samsung's more expensive Galaxy watches, and both of their numbers are much closer to the Band 10 than they are to the Fit 3. And man, the way this thing motivates me to stay active is something else as well. So there's the basic activity ring, right, which takes things like my active calories, exercise duration, and how I often stand into consideration to paint a picture of my daily fitness. The Galaxy Fit 3 also has a similar feature, but the Band 10 goes a step further with something called Health Clovers. And that thing considers my stress levels, how much water I drink, and even my sleep habits to help me stay healthy. It's such a quality of life feature. That reminds me, I also found the Band 10 sleep tracking to be slightly more reliable because the Galaxy Fit 3 would often get the time I went to bed and the time I got up wrong by a few minutes. Not just that, but the Huawei Band 10 is simply more in-depth with my sleep data since it also measures my heart rate variability, also known as HRV, throughout the night. In case you didn't know, HRV is basically the time interval between each heartbeat, and it can be a pretty good indicator of your sleep quality and also your overall physical health. So kudos to Huawei for bringing such an important feature to a budget fitness band. The only thing I found weirdly missing on the Band 10 is that it does not have an auto pause feature for workouts. I do get a prompt to pause or end the workout if I'm staying still for too long, but unlike the Galaxy Fit 3, it cannot automatically stop recording the workout. As for their companion apps, they're both well designed, but the Huawei Health app gives you a lot more information than Samsung Health. In fact, it can feel a bit overwhelming if you just want to check your basic health stats, in a good way, of course. Okay, finally, let's talk about their battery life. So both Samsung and Huawei claim that their latest fitness bands can last up to 2 weeks, but turning on everything, I got exactly a week of backup with the Galaxy Fit 3, while the Huawei Band 10 lasted me for a little over 9 days. The Huawei Band 10 also fills up much faster, hitting 100% in like 45 minutes versus how the Fit 3 takes nearly half an hour more to get the job done. Alright everybody, I think now's a good time as any to wrap it all up, and for what it's worth, I am super impressed with both of them. The Galaxy Fit 3 and the Huawei Band 10 are both excellent fitness bands that I can comfortably recommend getting over most budget smartwatches in the market right now. And if I were to summarize all of my findings onto a little table, here is how it ends up looking. In terms of the design, I can't really say one is necessarily better than the other. It's basically a tie. The Fit 3 clearly wins when it comes to the display and the software experience, whereas the Band 10 has better battery life and better health and fitness tracking features compared to the Fit 3. So in the end, it's pretty clear if you're not dead serious about keeping track of your health and fitness routines, the Galaxy Fit 3 is a great fit for you, pun intended, but for fitness enthusiasts and everyone else, you simply can't go wrong with the Huawei Band 10. At least not for just 4,000 Indian rupees. Alright everybody, that was all for this video. Which one would you choose, the Galaxy Fit 3 or the Huawei Band 10? Do let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notifications icon. Saying this, I'm Pratima and thank you so much for watching.